There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's scrim to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma. Another win, oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow, every week we'll recap it slow. Tune in for this little piggy show. From revenge porn to felony, it's a circus, can't you see? The toe is bent, the goal is spent. His empire crumbles, all hell sent. April's playlist on repeat. Aaron's lies we can't defeat. The countdown's on, it won't take long to see this piggy squeal his song. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble now. This little piggy's begging for dollars. And this little piggy's breaking down. Wow, every week we'll recap it slow. Tune in for this little piggy show. Oh, this little piggy ain't missing a thing. Just sit back, laugh, and watch the king.
Welcome to This Little Piggy, a weekly roundtable discussion about the Steel Toe Morning Show and the Cum Eater, Aaron Imholt. I'm Karl from Who Are These Podcasts, and with me this week we have Moody from This Little Piggy.
Hi, I'm from this show only.
And introducing Tookie from Tookie Soup. What's up, Tookie?
Yay! Oh, it is so good to be here, Karl. But I am noticing someone is missing today.
Yes. 2/3 of the show is missing right now because Patrick Melton is not feeling great. He says he will join us, but he's not doing that well. He said he probably missed the beginning, so he'll join us in a little bit, I'm sure.
He's got an upset tummy.
Yeah, something didn't agree with him. And this time it wasn't Aaron.
I believe he said he ate something underage. I mean, undercooked. Undercooked.
So,
well, that was close.
I want to let people know they can participate in the show using the Super Tip system, supertip.gg/WATP. If anyone watched Who Are These Socials last night, you know that I wasn't able to get the AI voices working. That has been fixed. Thank you, Moody. We did a little troubleshooting today.
It's never Super Chat's fault. It's always our fault.
That's
always
what I
our
hear
fault.
from
Melton.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you feel like the show's getting a flow or like it's going well, the super tips are going to slow it right down. We'll make sure that we don't get too big for our britches.
Help ruin the show at supertip.gg/WATP.
See, I look at it completely different than that. You know, I grew up listening to the radio, a lot of sports talk radio, always taking callers, callers calling in, giving their hot takes. The host gets to respond or have a conversation. This is a better way to do that because instead of the caller's annoying voice and they can't go on and on and on, they get to be somebody else and make their point and participate in the show.
Oh, they can go on and on and on. I don't know if you've heard any of the counting ones.
I've changed the settings on some of these, so we probably should be all right.
You just hate hiding behind like that every 7 minutes hiding behind adverts. Super Tips lets you do that. You can do that on podcasts now. You don't need to create engaging content the whole way through. You can just hide behind your viewers' content.
Son of a bitch. I feel like you guys are not hearing me at all. Everything that I just said, I feel you guys just countered.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you know what also is going on right now, aside from another exciting week in Steel Toe that we're going to get to in just a moment. But it is, and maybe it isn't this way in the Southern Hemisphere, but up in the Northern Hemisphere, we have a thing called Christmas. You might notice that Tookie is decked out, and people are feeling Christmassy. They want to gift things, including Whitney's Tits, gifting 5 Who Are These Podcast memberships. Thank you very much, Whitney's Tits. That is very much appreciated. The kids love it. When you gift the membership, anyone who gets that, you get to see Who Are These Podcasts live every Wednesday and Saturday. That's always behind the paywall. We send out the link on the community tab or the membership tab. And you get 2 bonus episodes every single month. We were just breaking down Julia Fox's autobiography with Blind Mike on a bonus show earlier this week. So that's what you get when you get behind the paywall on YouTube or on our Patreon. Thank you very much for doing that. Now, what I wanted to start off with today is I think Aaron's ripping your bed off, Tookie.
What?
he's talking about Chad Zumach's redemption story and how Chad Zumach's good now, and he used to stink, but now he's good. Although I don't know if Aaron's doing a bit or not, but he literally said, I wrote this down, I was listening this week. He said, Chad is the redemption story of 2024. Chad is the man. And then Aaron put himself third or fourth on the list of redemption stories in 2024.
What? How can it be a redemption story? This is his worst year of his life.
I know. I mean, he still has a felony looming over his head. He's already calling himself a redemption story somehow.
I tuned in to one of Chad's. I rarely do, but I tuned into one of Chad's shows, and he was seeing right through this, which was surprising to me. Like because Aaron only says nice things about people if he thinks that he can manipulate them or get them on side, or he thinks that he can team up with them. It feels like he's been doing that with Chad for a while, and Chad is just having none of it, which was, I didn't see that one coming.
No, Chad is starting to see through the Tookie thing too now. He's blocked Tookie from his chat. He's like, Tookie, I thought you were cool, man. He's like, I even put my cousin Jill on the phone to say hi to you.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tookie. It's always a tough day when Chad Zumach blocks you. I mean,
I feel like I let down not only Chad but all the Zumachs now.
I know.
Hi, Patrick from Nobody Likes Onions here. Quick question. I love that Chad always has some really minuscule non-event to point to use as a reference for how close of friends you were. This is like the buying hats thing with Kevin Brennan.
Yes.
It's like, dude, we bought hats together. And it's like,
we went to live.
It's not a milestone in anyone's relationship. Like, why are you bringing that up? Like, because there's like, he's hung out with Kevin Brennan 4 times in his life.
Right.
So he always has to bring up something to be like, dude, I can't believe you did this after we bought hats. And it's like, what?
Wow. It's 4 times now, but wait till they do this amazing live podcast in Atlantic City that's coming up. It's going to be Kill Kevin. We're going to have comedians come up and compete.
Karl, you got to come down for this.
I'm so upset you guys are doing it during the Super Bowl. It's just not a good time for me to
Your
be
brother
traveling.
comes.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, come on.
You know the Super Bowl will be on the TV in the casino.
Right. You know we get it. You know they get it in Atlantic City.
No,
it's even better because you watch people lose their livelihoods. I never thought I would see people get so mad about the Super Bowl. I didn't think people bet that much on the Super Bowl, but last year
you don't think people bet money on this the biggest sporting event of the year?
It's not a good game usually, but I mean, I guess. But there were guys who were literally pissed off that who didn't cover. I don't even remember.
But it was a lot of like the hot air guys from MLC too who want to vie for Kevin's. You know, like I don't know what, you know, I met Borgo there. I'm sure you did too. And what is it about they all got to be like Kevin's #1 sugar daddy. So they might just be throwing around lies like, oh man, I had 30K on the game.
No, I was hearing it from people that we didn't know. Like there was, because there weren't that many people in the casino in general that weekend until that Sunday night.
Right.
Like I'm not even saying like from our group. I'm saying like in general, I saw grown men crying because of the Chiefs covered or whoever didn't cover. I don't even fucking remember. What are we talking about? Are we talking about Chad?
We're talking about Atlantic City's a dump, and I don't know why you guys want to go there. The only reason why they did that is because it's near Kevin's house.
I want to go for
why they went there in the first place.
The only reason I want to go this year is for the orbs. I want to see the orbs. I hope that all this UFO stuff's still going on when we get out there.
I have a feeling it won't be. But I tell people to save your money. Go to Las Vegas, May 9th through 11th. Hackamania.com, promo code WATP for 10% off your tickets.
Please use Karl's promo code. You know, no one's using Karl's promo code. We're starting to worry. Maybe the show's jumped the shark. Maybe he doesn't have fans. He's buying views. What's going on?
Let's get on it, people.
Is this the first time you've advertised Hackamania, Karl?
I haven't done a great job so far, I'll be honest.
I'm not worried about it. Karl will pass everybody. But right now, believe it or not, aside from NLO, OJ is killing it. OJ is selling tickets.
OJ might be the biggest redemption story of 2024. Is what I'm hearing.
Well, there's coming up behind everybody. Cardiff has just instituted promo code COME. Okay. So now we have promo code COME.
Very good.
So Aaron can make it.
Now, I have a
There's going to be a live this little piggy over there. I didn't know this until you announced that there was going to be a live.
I didn't
This
know it
little
either.
piggy.
It's kind of a placeholder on the schedule, but I also think it's a great idea. And especially, again, I'm trying to get Nick. I want Nick to commit whatever it takes to get Nick out there. I think he'll only be able to be there on Friday night, but God, if we could just get him out there, I think it'd be great.
And speaking of Nick, what I brought for us today, we're going to get to in a little bit, is everyone's talking about how Nick called into the Dick Show recently. I have the highlights of that. I pulled a bunch of clips so we can check that out because I don't think a lot of people heard him on the Dick Show. I listen to the Dick Show every week, so I was listening to it when it was happening, and there were some interesting insights and things that Nick said that I want to get into because Aaron's got an insider who knows all about this plea deal and what the offer was and what it's going to be. And so Nick kind of talks about some of that stuff and counters what Aaron is saying. So we'll get into that. But first, I want to start with this morning's show. It's Rumble Friday. And this morning's show, Aaron went off on a thing. It starts about talking about how great Chad is. And has anyone seen this morning's show yet?
No.
Yes.
Okay, you did.
Yes.
If you saw this rant, this is wild. And just tell me when to pause because there's going to be a lot of things that we need to discuss.
Yeah,
But,
it's still this morning for me, so it's
Right.
You haven't seen
I saw
yesterday morning
yesterday-
show?
I had to watch Chad because, you know, I offhandedly remarked while we were watching that Sam Tripoli thing, I had a thought and I went, you know, like on the spot, I just thought we were too hard on Chad. And I feel bad because I see how well Chad's doing now. And I go, I slowed that down because the point I was trying to make was I'm really good at doing that to people. I'm really good at fucking with people. I'm really good at trashing the shit out of people.
Sorry. First of all, I just want to say, Aaron and Slam Piece, well done on getting a new marker for your whiteboard. I'm glad you listened to our show from last week.
Looks
It
good.
made little difference.
And made a little difference. I guess my next note for them is, Aaron, next time you're going to court, when you're wearing that suit that you wear all the time, you're not supposed to button the second button at the bottom. You need to keep that unbuttoned. You just do the top one. Otherwise, you look kind of like a tube man.
Boxy.
Yeah, you look like a boxy man. So
You want that
unbutton the
coat
second
to
button.
flare out a little bit.
Yeah, so unbutton the second button, just do the top button up. You'll look a lot better.
Two
Nice.
man licking come from April's cans.
Now, Moody, I just want to point out the way we do things over here is we watch a clip and then we comment on the clip that we just saw, not just break off into a tangent
Well,
about something that
I was-
happened last week.
I was
And
saying
in English.
he's changed something in his background that was significant. I mean, that marker was running out for months, and then we mentioned it one time last week, and it changes. So look, if this little piggy, we can
We
point out
mentioned
one
it on
thing.
NLO a million times.
Yeah, but he doesn't listen to that, right?
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, sorry.
Or follow the Dabbleverse.
Right.
Yeah. This is the
People
way.
send them stuff. People send me clips.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Okay, so you just heard him set this up. I'm going to back it up a little bit.
Sorry.
He is amazing at taking people down, calling
Owning
people
people.
out, owning
Yeah.
people.
And I go, I slowed that down because the point I was trying to make was I'm really good at doing that to people. I'm really good at fucking with people. I'm really good at trashing the shit out of people, deconstructing them. We've done it with Mersh, Melton, and many other people.
So here's my question. He
was friends with
deconstructs
Mersh until a minute ago. Like
he
he's like, oh, he's
deconstructs people and breaks them down. And aside from the one compilation someone put together that he played, has he ever played clips of you, Patrick, and
yeah.
broken you down?
I mean, he has occasionally. Somebody went back and found a clip of him playing the thing of me scrolling, going like, "Where are Aaron's kids?" So there
Right.
was a time when his audience could stomach those kinds of jokes.
He never does deconstructions on his own, though. What he does is he waits for someone else to comment or like point out something about one of his enemies, and then he plays those clips on his show. So he doesn't actually do that
Says,
work.
Congrats to this guy for catching up. I've been saying
Right.
this for years, and it's
Yeah,
like,
Mike
what?
David finally caught up to
Right,
Melton and
right,
everything that he. Yeah, that's how he operates.
The way that he is setting this up too is he's saying the reason why Chad's doing better now is because I've laid off him. If I kept going at Chad, he'd be nothing right now. But I've laid off him, so now he's doing well. And of course, Mersh and Melton, they're not doing well, and that's because I've really been laying into them.
Well, it's a contradictory point because he's basically what he's saying is I Caesar Milan Chad. I got him on the ear. He was on a bad track. He was drinking. He was headed, he was in a bad way. Catalytic converters, fake black eyes, and I let Chad know by saying, we're out of this. I'm waving a white flag and tapping out because that's what he did to Chad. He quit twice. What did he do to Chad to make Chad change his ways?
He tapped out from Chad when he was still with April. He said this Chad thing is getting too much. We can't do this anymore. And so he stepped away from that. And it seems like they made up with each other on that show on MLC in May, when we discovered that April was arrested. They became friends on that show.
Right.
Man, we never went back over that show because Aaron was eviscerating Chad. Aaron was making Chad look so fucking stupid. And then the arrest happened. But God, do I want to kind of go back to that? Chad was doing his typical thing of like, but how come you? Why never? I never had a problem with you until Chad always wants to unwind everything and be friends. And that means like whatever he's done to you, he always goes back. You'll hear him do this. He can't help it every time he's on with one of his enemies. But Patrick, I never went after you until you. He always does this. I never did anything to you. I never did. He just did it with Rocco this past weekend. Yeah, but why are you guys making fun of everything? Like, stop making fun of us. We're just trying to do something. And it's like, Chad, you make fun of anyone else who tries to do anything. And by the way, they all do it better.
Chad was also very adamant. He's like, this isn't gonna work on me, Aaron. We're not gonna be good friends.
Right,
we're not gonna do a show or anything together. And then by the end of the show, he's like, I guess
maybe I'll come out.
Oh no, he put me up.
But he has to do the same thing, and this is like been a theme for the past couple of weeks or so. But it's like because they're not really friends, and because they talk so much shit about each other, there's no trust, there's no respect, and that way they truly can't work together, even though they constantly try to because they're the only ones who will work with each other. When this, it's like the win by two, Chad, Kevin thing for this show. There's no way on earth they all trust each other. They certainly don't respect each other or like each other as of a minute ago. So the fact that they're all trying to work together and accomplish this common goal while they're constantly looking over their shoulders and shit. Even Chad the other day, I got to text this fucking win by two clown. It's like, oh, the guy producing your event for you?
You're only hope.
Right.
Wow.
The only hope, the guy you have to hope low balls, his rate so that he could do this. Because Chad's just like, $100, man. I just get someone to set up a whole live show production.
Chad knows the reality of it is basically Kevin or win by two could be fucking with Chad and setting him up. So he has to keep his distance and keep this edge to him, like this fucking win by two clown. So he can always go back and go, I told you he was a clown. I never trusted him anyway. It's like, no shit.
Yeah.
So sit down. Zumak is in the chat. He's saying, I blocked Melton. Melton tried getting back with me. He's lying.
I'm not lying.
Not lying.
I do call in the Chad show all the time. Like, come on.
Yeah, good point. All right. So let's see the point that he's trying to make here.
Radio people, we did it, like JJ and others. We've been very good at it, but we don't mean it. Like, we do it and it's fun, and then we move on and we talk about other things.
Aaron's so good at eviscerating people. He just does it without even trying very hard. He's not even passionate about it. And then he moves on and he goes, oh shit, that's right. I forgot. I ruined that person's life. Whoopsie daisy. Ain't I a stinker?
Ain't I a stinker, yeah.
I forget sometimes that the Mershes and the Meltons, those are guys, this is all they have.
This is all the Mershes and the Meltons have.
What's wild about that is, again, like Mersh, there's so many clips of him in April fantasizing about Mersh. April found him attractive. Aaron thinks he's really funny and they do a great show. But now Melton and Mersh are the same guy. Huh? So I'm attractive and do a great show?
And they're invested. So I kind of forget that. And I forget that I'm kind of like what I think is a passing comment or what I think is just kind of a fun little thing. I'm not talking about a show they do. I'm talking about their life. And the same thing for a lot of these commenters.
That's weird right there. So he doesn't talk about the shows that we do. He knows our lives. And that's why he's taking us down so hard. Because we're like, oh, my wife is older than me. Fuck. Got me again. This asshole.
He's saying this with all of the energy of a youth pastor talking to a youth group, sitting on a chair backwards. You know, he's like, look, I'm just
up to the side.
Let me just rap to you kids for a second.
Yeah.
This is what I do. Look, we don't even think about those guys.
About this gnarly dude called JC.
And if the devil doesn't like it, he can sit on attack.
What I think is just kind of a fun little thing. I'm not talking about a show they do. I'm talking about their life. And the same thing for a lot of these commenters and these Dabbleverse people. I forget that, like, this is all they've got. So, like, all the anger and all the hostility they're throwing at me, these are the things they want to say to a partner they don't have.
Okay.
A parent.
This is wild. This is wild.
Yes.
So I've been violently ill all morning, and the partner I don't have has been making me tummy tea and taking care of it. It's so nice to have a retarded wife who can't get a job. The point is, this projection, this is exactly his life.
Yes.
He's in an empty home. He has nobody. He has no other. He's the one literally admitted to combing through job postings, looking for something. I have nothing. We have nothing.
But also,
What are you talking about?
It's convenient that all of his enemies are the same person, too. So it's very easy for him to just be like, and the reason why all these guys are doing this is because they also want to say this to their family members and people in their lives. And it's like, how did you even think of that, Aaron? Oh, because you want to say those things.
Right.
To your family members.
But
and I wouldn't have thought that.
This whole thing, he does this whole act too about like, I leave the show behind. Like, I don't think about this show at all when I'm not on the show. And it's like, holy shit. Holy shit, what a lie. There's no one whose show is their life more. I'm serious.
He wakes up. He said he wakes up drenched in sweat thinking about the goal.
And then when he's asleep, he's having nightmares that he can't meet the goal, even though fake donations are coming in.
Donations coming in.
He's dreaming about fake donations.
This is Rumble Friday, where people give him money to watch videos, and he does 20 minutes on this up front because that's all he's thinking about.
Right.
Rather than just get to the stuff that actually makes him the money on this show, which I thought was interesting. And by the way, he said, we have so many videos coming in. I might go to noon today. It might be a 6-hour show. It's 4 hours.
It's encapsulated by the fact that Steel Toe Morning Show doesn't have a Twitter. The Twitter handle is at Aaron M. Holt. No one's show is entangled in their life more than Aaron M. Holt's. It's wild that he says this kind of thing all the time. They're like, dude, you got to get off the internet, touch grass, get out to real life. It's like you stream more than everyone. You're talking about doing a third show.
He's doing
he's
doing a third one now.
Show.
He's doing 4 p.m. So now he's doing morning, mid-afternoon, and night.
How can a show be the cornerstone of a good day when it's a semicircle?
Aaron in the afternoon is back?
Yes! And it's crazy, too, because I'm going to come back to this in just a second. But people have been finding the old Dark Side Phil stuff. When Aaron was going after Dark Side Phil,
yeah,
he literally
Blind Mike.
said, "Oh, Blind Mike gets some great clips." But there's other comps that are going up on YouTube, and Aaron literally said to Dark Side Phil, "Dude, if you just got to stream in order to make money, and so you're just on the internet all day long,
online?
Dude, just get a job, man. That's pathetic. What are you doing?" And now Aaron's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
he also complained that Dark Side Phil didn't have a goal. He's like, he's asking for money, he doesn't even have a goal. He's so weird.
When he was doing Aaron in the Afternoon, like a decade ago, he said, I don't like gimmicks or countdowns or silly things like that. If I had to do that on my show, I would want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said that.
I believe Dean asked him about that specifically on Hughesy's show, and Aaron just said, I changed my mind.
Well, you've seen this new feature YouTube's rolled out, right? The goals?
Yes, the goal, yeah.
Why is he not using that? People are saying just because it's movie math and he couldn't like hide stuff.
I can tell you multiple reasons why he's not using it. One is that it's not set up to have an amount to come in. It's for a number of super chats that are above a certain amount.
Yeah, you can set a color.
So it can't be like $350. It would be at least this many chats that are at least this tier.
And super chats are also his lowest form of income.
Right.
Right.
The second one, yeah, exactly, Tookie. The second one is he only takes 70% of what's on super chat. So if he was doing just a super chat only goal and he needs $350, he needs to set his goal to $500, which is way more than what he'd ask about.
But it's also what we've been saying all along anyway. Just make the goal $500 instead of doing that retarded math.
Right. But he wants to do the math.
Also, there's a time delay factor, and I've noticed this thing he does. He'll get $100 donation and not update the total at the top for 10 minutes because he wants you to think he still needs 175 when he only needs 75.
Oh,
Right. So
the longer you can leave that up.
So,
Right.
Okay. So what this all comes back to is narcissists always want to control the environment. And you saw that going back to Chad again, where if he thinks he can manipulate someone, if he can go on MLC and manipulate Chad, then he loves that. That's why he loves Chad right now, because Chad is a simpleton who's easy to massage. If you give him a couple compliments, he's like, come on, man.
You can disarm Chad very quickly.
And so a narcissist doesn't want YouTube controlling what the goal is. We've seen him with the creative math that he does. He gets $100. He goes, that's $50 off the goal.
This week, a couple days ago, he got a $10 donation, which he usually counts as 7. But in that donation, someone told him, count this one as 12. And he did.
So he's also dumb. Okay.
I only take what I need.
Saudi Homer is a member for 4 months and also just gifted a membership. Thank you very much, Saudi Homer. We appreciate that. Flex316 gifted a Who Are These Podcasts membership. Thank you, Flex316. Remember, if you get a membership, we do live shows every Wednesday and Saturday, and you can get the link there in the membership tab and watch the shows live. We get bonus shows every month as well. Karl's Frosted Tips. More Tookie, less Rocco. Also, Moody, please make super tips uncensored. You won't go to jail in America for it. We got Trump back. Watch out, Newports.
The text ones are uncensored, I think.
No. We're working on allowing creators to set the amount of censoring that they want on things. So that's coming at a certain point. It's something actively being worked on. We don't want to do something that's over the entire thing. Some people might not want sexual content on their super tips. Others might encourage that. So we want to cater to both.
Well, I do appreciate people who are using the supertip.gg/WATP, including LL Cooley with $5. Moody, you and I, one chair at Oscars, reckon on it.
I don't know. James Beaumont is really putting in the work to win my heart and affection. So LL Cooley really needs to step up. James Beaumont wants to blow up a car with me at Hackamania.
Yeah.
I am so excited.
That's a good
about
first
that.
date right there.
Have you heard about this high roller dinner on Thursday night, Karl?
I've heard you discussing it, yes.
Well, Baumer's called in and he says every show has to get their own high rollers to pay for their people. What do you think about this?
I think that having a dinner with 40 people is annoying as fuck. It's never a good time. It takes hours and hours, and you can't really only talk to the couple people who are around you. It's stupid.
Perfect. So let's make sure we're all at a table together so that no weirdos can come up to us.
Perfect.
You know? And LL
we'll put
Cooley
Jenny Jingles with the fans so they have someone to
Yes.
talk to.
Yes.
Great. I too hack to, if you will, Vikings 122 as it were. Crowdcat $5. And Crowdcat another $5. Someone should ask Aaron how April was the first time he met her.
She was 16 or 17 or something like that.
Yeah,
she was in high school.
That is a good point.
Well, maybe with Aaron in the afternoon coming back, he can get more high schoolers to come into his studio.
Fucking hell. But yeah, you get to start a tutoring program.
He could find a new wife.
I'll come to your school and do it for free.
Now, the ghost of Mr. P is telling me something, but he wrote it in all caps, so I have to read it like this. Stop yelling, Karl, you spaz, and tell Jenny to show her cans. All right.
The ghost of Mr. P has said he will be at the Borgata. He keeps sending me proof as if you can't get a reservation and cancel it for no money.
Chad did that last year, didn't he?
I don't know what Chad does.
There was someone who I don't know. Someone made a reservation then canceled it.
Last year, Chad was bragging about how much money he made by telling everybody how much money he was getting back in a refund from the IRS. And this year he's bugging Kevin. Why haven't you sent me a 1099? And it's like, it's December.
Yeah,
of
well,
the
I got
year.
a new tax guy.
The year's not over, Chad, so you can't know what. Oh boy.
Inflatable arm flailing toe man says, Pat, Karl, kick out dumb looking puppet. Tookie is
What?
okay.
Oh,
He's calling Moody the puppet. Have we ever
Maybe
seen
it's
Jim
me.
Henson
Am I?
and Moody in the same place?
I feel bad for whoever's hand is up that.
T.O. Hank, $2. Melton doing E-Rock impression. Take a breath.
What?
E-Rock
I
tends
watch-
to,
I don't watch enough E-Rock to know.
he's long-winded sometimes when he comes on the show.
Look, I'm used to doing 4 hours by myself. Sorry.
It's true. John Spencer, $2 says, Chad is 10 times funnier than Melton. Fact. Well,
Well,
if you write
10
fact
times-
afterwards,
if you-
10 times
You're
a
right.
negative number is a higher negative number. So,
true. Patrick Michael with $2 says, I'm smoking a bowl at age 36. I wish that was the real Patrick Michael. James Robinson, $5 says, Melton, I just watched that MLC recently. Chad never said he was going to Aaron's event, and he never said he would go on his show. You are lying again.
That's not true. We've all seen the video of Chad saying he was going to go to Stoney's. He was going to be filming in there, and he's going to get kicked out, and it was going to go viral. He fantasized about all this on his show. I don't know what you're like. You're out of your mind.
They definitely were getting along by the end of that episode quite a bit. It was remarkable. Soft Weekly, $5 says, toe is in your head. You do the thing, and then he makes fun of you for doing the thing. And then you go, "Ruh, he made fun of me for doing the thing."
Probably true.
He's got you there. All right,
Everybody's in everybody's head. It's a flat circle.
Let's get back to this video because he's continuing about how great he is at taking down all the trolls and all the A-loggers, and he's got it all figured out.
he said
That doesn't listen.
the trolls chased April off the internet. If he's so good at protecting himself from the trolls, wouldn't his wife be the first person he'd protect?
Or just
I
any
think
co-host.
it might have been- It might have been Soft Weekly who told me that it's whatever his version of the history is, whatever serves him in the present.
Right.
His version of the history is always whatever serves him in the moment, and that's why he can go like, I ran all the trolls off, but he can also go, there's a million places to go watch shows that hate Steel Toe. It's like, well, if there's a million shows that make fun of Steel Toe, how come you ran them all off? Like, how is that?
Well, maybe Soft Weekly said that. Nick Rekieta said the same thing on the Dick Show. He goes, I've spent a lot of time with Aaron, and Aaron's always living in the present. And so the past, the present, and the future all fuel whatever he wants to be happening in the present.
Right. Okay.
And it was a very interesting, he elaborated on it. I have some clips that we'll get into, but it was a very interesting insight into how Aaron operates. Because one of the reasons why I get fascinated by these guys like Aaron and Opie and Stuttering John is their brains think differently than anyone I've ever known in my life. I've never been around people like this who think this way and talk this way. And this clip right here is a perfect example of that. Where like this guy has subreddits dedicated to what a loser he is. And he goes on his show every day and talks about how he's winning and he's killing it in between saying he's going to quit and he's not making any money and he's a loser.
We all have subreddits dedicated to what losers we are. Like
Sure.
that doesn't mean anything. Like once you get to a certain level, people will hate you, but
I started the one about Tookie though.
bastard.
I'm taking credit for that.
Listen to them, family members who don't really pay attention to them anymore. All of that stuff they feel towards those people,
that's Aaron.
they unload onto me.
Yes. This is what he thinks. So this is what we do for a living, and this is what we find to be fun. It's like it was my hobby before it was my career. And so the fact that he thinks that we're doing this because it's like this better help thing that our therapist is telling us, like, all right, well, you can't say it to your dad, but maybe you could yell about Aaron Imholt on your show. Like, yes.
Aaron was estranged from half of his family for 4 years or whatever. I've never, ever had a person in my family I'm not talking to now or in the past. I don't know what except for the dead ones. I don't know what he's talking about. They all have family members who ignore them. I do.
They all do. That's convenient.
Not only that, he made his ex-wife Ashley was taking his children to meet with his parents because she didn't want them to grow out without grandparents.
Yeah. That's a fucked up family
She was
situation
maintaining
there.
that link.
She's a saint. She's a saint. Saint LaRue.
And I've accepted that, and I get that, and I appreciate that in many ways. So this Chad thing, I just throw out there as a thought I had. And so I watched Chad's show because I'm on the thumbnail, and I'm like, I enjoy what Chad's been doing lately.
Okay, that right there is such a tell. I watched Chad's show because I'm on the thumbnail. Okay, real reason. And because Chad's a great guy, and I really appreciate the work that he's doing.
Right.
Fake and phony bullshit.
You need an update on the list of $100 members in Chad's Patreon or whatever. All the show is. We see that thing like 4 times. The show.
Chad and his chat are in there playing this clip, and they've got like white lab coats on, like they're scientists, and they're going, "What does he mean by this? What's Aaron attempting to do? What's Aaron's grand strategy?" And I'm watching it, and I'm
Show the clip. What is he talking about?
Right. No one's ever thought you had a grand strategy. We think you're lost and adrift.
Yeah, I've also never heard Chad sit down and really analyze something like, all right, let's figure out what the subcontext is.
Right.
Guys. Let's get to the bottom of this. Like, that's not his style at all.
They suck. They're dumb. They should
Right.
stop.
Stop doing it.
It's over. You're a
Yeah.
loser.
You thought you were running ship, and look, they think they're running ship. They're not
Don't
running
scare
ship. You
you.
thought they were gonna bring me down?
No one's scared of you.
Yeah.
going, "Oh no, I didn't realize what I'd done." What I consider a passive thought that I had in my head during a show to talk to my audience about, I again forget that for a lot of these people, the people commenting on it especially, this is their whole life. So they think there's like, in their life, that this would be like a manipulative James Bond moment to them.
See, this is amazing. And the fact that Aaron, and I believe that he believes this. I could be wrong about that. But I do think that he's this delusional. He thinks that he just has a passive thought. He says it on his show, whatever, moving on. And there's a group of people who are analyzing this and trying to figure out what's he up to? What's he mean by that? What's he going to do next?
Yeah,
Trust
it's
me,
us.
Aaron, no one is concerned about what you mean by anything that you say more than you are. We promise you that.
And we all know what you're gonna do next. Ask for money.
Right, yes. In fact, this Monday, big day on Monday. You guys know what's going on?
Yes, of course. The
But you
day
tell
our
us?
Savior was born.
No,
Aaron
this
Emble.
That's right. It's Aaron's birthday show. He's
Oh.
going to go for 8 hours, and he's bringing Matt back for 8 hours.
Wow.
He's going to expect a lot of money for that show if he's going 8 hours with Matt.
Holy
Metal.
So you're saying that there's another anniversary of his birth? We've got another
Holy
Steel
shit.
Toe anniversary.
You're right.
coming
This is
up.
the third one in the last 5 months,
Right.
or 6 months, where it's either the 10th anniversary of the show, the 4th anniversary of going online, and now the 38th anniversary of this dipshit being born.
And we've got
Is it
April's
today?
birthday is soon too.
Yes,
I think.
April's is today.
Ah,
30. He repeated it many times. 30.
Oh,
You
what an
turned 30,
asshole.
April. Welcome
Yep.
to 30. You're 30 now. Remember
So-
when you weren't 30?
So it's Nick's. Karl has a birthday.
That's true. I had my birthday yesterday.
Chad has a birthday next week. He's turning 50. I think a lot of what's happening with Chad is revolving around this
Oh.
50th birthday.
You could be onto something with that. 'Cause-
I think it's really hitting Chad. Like this year, he had a hurricane. He had nobody to go to. Thanksgiving, he was sitting there alone. Like, what am I supposed to do? Go to a stranger's house? Like, it's like I can't. And he's turning 50. He's looking around this apartment. He just ordered all these display posters for his wall. He's staring at his empty living room.
He's admitted it. He went for a second physical in a year yesterday. And they were like, you already came. We already checked you out. He's like,
I just missed the doctor's touch.
Can you just
Yeah.
like run all the tests again?
Yeah, finger my ass, please.
yeah, 50 is a tough year for anyone, but especially if you've made nothing of yourself.
I mean,
and you've seen all of your friends go on to success.
It's not like the end of your life or anything, but when you turn 50, you got to go like, all right, I'm wrapping it up. You know, hopefully we got another 20 years here, and hopefully it's a relaxing, fun coast into the grave, 20, 30 years. But yeah, you have to look around and take stock of like, okay, the radio thing's not going to happen. Okay, the comedy thing probably not going to happen.
That's what they would do. And they can't think any other way but the way they would do. Luckily, I can think like them as well as think like myself.
No, you can't. That's the whole problem right there. What a fucking idiot. He's talking about multiple people. I assume he's talking about Melton and Mersh because he named those people.
Right.
And he's saying that they all think the same way, and he is able to think the way that they think, but he can also think the way that he thinks. This is incredible.
Get that for a lot of these people, the people commenting on it, especially.
And he says, I forget. That's another tell right there.
He's
too.
that quantum computing chip they got now. He can see
Right.
all angles.
But this is such a performance. Like, he had bullet points for this all written out. He was rehearsing. He's like, and I forget that I'm a lot smarter than these guys, and they're one-dimensional because I created a one-dimensional character as a straw man that I can argue with without actually playing anything that they say on their show.
It's like Matt. Remember how Grinch Girl was sticking up for our Matt in
Yes.
on the Reddit? Like, you guys don't get it. He's playing a fucking yokel idiot. That's a joke. He's actually very smart and recycles metal.
He's also acting like this is a big game of chess or grand strategy. Whereas
Yeah.
this is reality TV. Like that's what this is. This is 90 Day Fiance.
Right.
Unedited. You got to comb through it to find the nuggets.
Right. So we've got the raw footage of a reality TV show. That's the level. And there's Discords and things. You can go in there when you've got a moment during your day. No one's sitting there the whole day talking about this constantly.
No.
Aaron's grand strategy, and I'm watching it and I'm going, oh no, I didn't realize what I'd done. What I consider a passive thought that I had in my head during
My
the show
powers!
to talk.
Yes. You know, with great power comes great responsibility, Aaron. You should know better.
I've been so irresponsible.
To my audience about, I again forget that for a lot of these people, the people commenting on it especially, this is their whole life. So they think there's like, in their life, that this would be like a manipulative James Bond moment to them. That's what they would do. And they can't think any other way but the way they would do. Luckily, I can think like them as well as think like myself. So I'm going, oh shit, I just had this passing thought about Chad. It felt good to get it off my chest. It felt like,
Quick question. If
What else
he
feels good to get off chests?
if he's able to thought switch, as it were, if you will,
Yeah. Right.
why can't he put himself in any of our brains and stop begging for money and just make it?
Isn't that wild? He's the only guy who has to beg for money all show long. He hates it. It's his least favorite thing to do. And yet he can't figure out any way out of it.
Why don't you just switch to Karl's brain and have 2 houses?
There you go.
going through what I went through, and maybe this is what's frustrating a lot of steel toe haters, what I went through in real life, you can't touch with a YouTube comment.
What?
Okay. What he went through in real life, remember, he did cocaine like 3 or 4 times, guys.
Right.
Dickhead.
So forget about that. That was a rough go. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Intervention, but Aaron would have been on that show.
Yeah,
They'd
but
like,
by the way, Citizen M tried to touch it with a YouTube comment, and you lost your mind. So apparently we can.
yes, he's very soft, but he thinks he's very hard for some reason.
You can't touch it with a live stream comment. You can't touch it with creating a new show that's all about Aaron. You can't do it.
Oh, we got a shout out. Thank you.
He
This
said
little
the magic
Piggy.
word.
Fridays at 4.
Because it's so insanely unbelievable that this guy just took your wife from you.
It's not though. It's not. We watched it. We all called it. We all go, the minute she meets a real man, she's gone, right?
I did not see it coming. I don't know anyone like this in my life. I've never known 2 couples who start hanging out together and then one guy leaves with the 2 girls. I've never seen that before, but in Aaron's reality, that's what happened.
Anybody with a brain knows this can't go on for this model of whatever this is you're doing and working in this moment can't last. So April's sitting there going like, what's the plan? You keep saying we can't do this forever, but we're doing this forever. Like I knew she was wanting to get out. And
it wasn't just about getting his wife taken. He was mistreating her a lot publicly on the show. Like it was borderline abuse. Like this is not a healthy couple.
And then there was abuse. Then there was
off the show.
actual abuse.
Yes.
Right. There was actual abuse as well behind the scenes.
There are women who let this man come inside them.
Oh, can you imagine? And you were calling her a saint a minute ago.
I know.
What I went through was so real and so destructive and so awful. The things I've chosen to do over the last year, the first half of it, so unhealthy and so bad. And it really made me reflect and realize what's important.
So, guys,
And
we
so-
can't get to him. He got to himself.
Right. And so,
You know what my worst enemy is? Myself. And I realized that by looking in the mirror. The other thing that Aaron doesn't understand, and a lot of these guys, Stuttering John's another one who's like this. It's like, we're not trying to get to him. Maybe you guys have a different motive. I'm not trying to get to Aaron. I'm here for the lulz. I enjoy watching the show, watching him beg and see how pathetic he could be and see how many rakes he could step on. And I find that amusing and fun. I don't want anything bad to happen to him in real life. I want his family to be happy and healthy. And so this whole thing where he thinks that we're rooting for his destruction is what you brought it up the other day, Patrick, where it wasn't that long ago. He's going, you guys just wish I would off myself. Like he was going off about that. It's just like, that's not even close to the truth.
And then yesterday he was saying that Melton should, if I was Melton, I'd kill myself. I can't believe he's not killing himself. He said it's depressing that he hasn't killed himself.
But this is,
It's like,
that's
hold on,
because he can only think the way he thinks. He proves that by putting his thoughts in our heads and out of our mouths. And it's just not the case.
What the healthiest thing for Aaron is to not watch this show. He needs to unplug and just not watch people criticizing him.
It's what everyone does who uses the term going after, so you're harassing my kids, you're going after my kids, he's going after April. No one makes anyone watch this. You watch it, you can't handle it, you get upset, and then you say, he did that to me. I wasn't involved. Like, other than like putting out content, he thinks I watch everything he does. I've really been like unplugged for a couple weeks because I've been busy with other stuff. He's not. I know he knows what's going on, and he has to wrap it in that. I don't really watch, but people send me stuff, or I read. But we know he reads QE. He reads everything. He watches everything.
It's the death of so many creators when they start engaging with their haters, and then the entire show just starts to become about that.
Right.
And so it's like enters this death spiral where no new real content is getting made, and it's just devouring itself until it goes down to zero.
Somebody sent me a screenshot of idiots talking about me today. It's just like I every time I'm amazed at what they're spending time on to get me on. I don't know what they're working on, but they're gonna uncover some big thing soon.
I heard
but like it blows my
mind.
mind. Huh?
I heard you own a mandolin. Is that
fuck.
true? Oh, watch out.
It's more of a loot.
That'll take you down, buddy. You better watch out for that. You brought this up before, Patrick, and I know there's women watching the show and we love them, but the response is very emotional, like a woman would be. Like they hear these words and they go, "Oh, you want to ruin my life, and you guys are
like,
you're just haters, and you just hate that I have all this stuff." She's like, none of that's true, and you're being very emotional.
I just want to stand up for the woman in this verse a little bit, because the men in the hackers have been the cattiest, most bitchy people to each other. And the women have hardly had any drama between them, with the exception of Kiki. Like, it's just, what is going on?
That is true, Moody.
But it's yeah, sorry, go ahead. I lost the thought.
Okay.
Just when you get through that and you come out the other side, I know it's frustrating to other creators and it's frustrating to commenters and whatnot. You just can't be harmed by that stuff. It just can't get through. You know, call it life experience, call it whatever you want.
Right.
Call it learning from your mistakes. But I thought about what we did to Chad, and I was like, you know, that was fucking gay. Like, we were losers. And all of you who enjoyed what we were doing in regards to Chad, you're fucking losers too.
Does he think that having two Midwestern marriages in the same county is life experience?
Yes.
Just checking.
He thinks he's in the movie Scarface.
Right.
He reflected on the first 6 months of this year and thought, you know what I need in the next 6 months? Another long-term relationship. After having two simultaneous ones, I need to enter into another one.
Well, he's one of those guys. He needs that. But here's what he just said. And I want to point this out for all the people who claim I got on the bandwagon late on Aaron. This is what's crazy about Aaron. Aaron has come out and said that the first 5 months of this year were all horrible podcasts, all horrible shows. They sucked. They were not into it. And they were doing drugs and they were doing all this other stuff and they were doing terrible shows.
Well, now he makes a good point, because the August live show, the 10th anniversary show, is a banger. So
no. Now he just said this was a year before that when he was feuding with Chad, that those shows all sucked. And then if you liked those shows, you're a fucking loser because that was garbage. Every time he reflects on the past, it's always terrible.
Yes.
So why would I think the present's good or the future's going to be good?
It's the same way he says sometimes, like, look, sometimes we have bad shows. It's like, when? You never, ever, you always go like, last night's show was great. We got a great show today. Today was a great show. Tonight's show's going to be great. When are these bad shows? Can we get an anthology?
It's amazing that someone with the superpower of being able to put his mind into the minds of other people isn't capable of putting out good shows consistently.
Right. To his own admission, he can't put out consistently good shows. And what he does sucks. I can't believe he's saying this right now because he's trying to get back into Chad's good grace. Everyone wants to be Chad's friend. All these other locals.
I used to not know what I was doing. It's like, what? The whole era where you were screaming, I do a pro shows, I got to teach all these internet guys how to do a show. Those shows sucked?
Yeah.
I'm lost.
Me too. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Because we just sat there watching a guy who had a drinking problem, watching a guy who was going through a tough time emotionally, psychologically, the whole thing. And all we did was take advantage of it. Like, all we did was pick on it and, like, try.
Scream for help. Don't pick on me. I'm vulnerable. Don't pick on me like I did to Chad. That's what he's screaming.
To make it worse. And it's like, what a bunch of shitbags.
We should lift each other up instead of dragging each other down. What are we doing?
Why are you making fun? Why are you making fun of Chad's event, man? He's just trying to do something. Meanwhile, if Karl does something or I do something, like, these fucking losers aren't going to sell any tickets.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad, we're just trying to do something. Lay off.
Felt bad about that. But then Chad goes on his show, and unfortunately for him, he gets so wrapped up in these chats and all this other stuff that he's like, chat, what do you guys think is going on? What do you think Aaron's up to here?
That's what
Do
you
think he's
do.
Yeah, right. I don't see anyone get more involved in their chat than Aaron.
No.
He literally he teases it. He goes, coming up, we'll be chatting with the chat. Like, why? It's a horrible segment.
If you guys give me money, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, okay.
Plotting something or planning something. And I'm watching it, and I'm just kind of feeling bad for everybody. And I'm going,
Why can't he be more specific? I don't know what he's talking about. So he's going off this long clip where he's going, I was watching Chad's show. I said a thing, and then they said this thing. It's like, what? What did you say? How did they react to it?
It's like a generative AI image. Like, it's blurry at first, and then as he zeroes it, yeah, that's it. And then he like it gets clearer and clearer.
I don't know why he's talking about feeling sorry for people, whereas in the past he's talked about how vindictive he is to his own detriment. He's like, I have such a vindictive streak. It's gotten me into trouble before. And we've seen that play out in the courts.
Yep. That's why he has a suspended jail sentence right now. Yep.
Right. Because of that vindictiveness. And so him saying, I'm watching all these people that hate me and I feel bad for them. I feel bad for their lives. No, you have, if you genuinely thought that they were having terrible lives, you would be gleeful. You would love it.
You're right. Both of those things, both the court case he has with Kayla that's coming up in January, that's a felony case, and the suspended jail sentence that's hanging over his head until what? July, August? I mean, that's all because of his petty, vindictive nature. Both of those things, he was exacting revenge on women who had hurt him. He's really got a problem.
Well, also the fact that posting the karaoke stuff with his daughter was also the only reason he did that, was vindictive, to be like, haha, I have my kids, you don't have yours.
Yep.
And it gave us a glimpse that he's not, again, when he went up to put his hand on the back of his daughter while she was singing and then second guessed it and pulled it away. I would like, I don't even have kids, but I know that he's like, I don't really know her like that. That's literally like what that was. Like, yeah, it's the first time he spent time with his kids. I would bet money, and there's no way to know this. I would bet money those children have been in Aaron M. Holt's car more this year than any year since he's known April or been married to April, because she used to run those kids around and pick them up.
Right.
So this is the first we've heard it. Like, you have to pick up kids' toys before you mow. Did you know that you can, like, if something's too spicy, you can dip it in mashed potatoes? Charlotte figured that out. It's like, what the fuck? It's like he's being a dad for the first time ever, and I bet those kids were over at that house and in his car more this year than any year he was married to April M. Holt. So keep bragging about being a dad of the year. It's so insane. Best dad by par.
He tells you every little thing that's gone on in his day-to-day life. So the fact that he wasn't doing that about his kids earlier meant that he wasn't really doing much stuff with his kids. And now everything's about that.
That's what I'm saying. And by the way, best dad by par is the biggest cell phone I've ever seen in my life. Par is like
Par is average. This is
what you're supposed to
do. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
One of those gaslighty moments where you're like, did I? Like you're sitting there going, what was I up to? What was I doing? Oh my God, what was my plan behind this? And I'm like, oh wait, these people are all just overthinking. And so
no one would ever accuse you of overthinking anything.
It was really just a passing thought that I had. It felt good to get it off my chest.
What was the thought? Aaron, this is a horrible segment. You're not telling us anything.
By the way, I just noticed he has Rumble Premium, but he won't splurge for YouTube Premium.
Oh, that's my Rumble.
Okay, I was like, "Fuck." He has ads playing on all his YouTube videos.
I had to buy Rumble Premium because I was trying to play something, and the fucking ads kept popping up. Like, fuck.
It felt like I moved on past something, and to be honest, I didn't even think Chad would pick it up. I didn't even think Chad would talk about it.
That's weird too. So he just said two different things. He goes, "There's a passing thing that I just needed to get off my chest, and I didn't even think about it afterwards. I didn't know anyone would pick up on it." And then he goes, "And I didn't think that he would actually see that I said that and then discuss it." So wait, which was it? Was it something that you actually had formulated ahead of time and you wanted to say? Or was it just a thing that just came to your head and you just said
it? It's like when he tells Nick Rekieta, "I made you do that," and then he goes like, "I can't believe he's doing that." And it's like, well, aren't you the...
Yeah.
What was the thing? I think it was that.
When his show is over and he clicks stop streaming, how long do you think he sits at his desk with the last sounds of the show echoing around the house?
If only somebody had a tape.
Why? What do you think, Moody? What do you picture?
I think it's longer than you think. I think he sits there and scrolls back through the live chat.
Do you think he just listens to the memories echo through that house?
Well,
important. I mean, it kind of shows that what I think and how I feel about the way I spoke about Chad, it matters to him. And that's another reason. Now that I know that it's important to him, it also makes me feel good that I said it because it clearly made a difference to him.
What? That doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about?
Since Moody said that, I picture that scene in The Social Network where Zuckerberg's eyes are closed. Like after he stops streaming, his eyes are closed, and when the site goes live, and he just goes. He just rocked.
You know, when you do something to kind of cleanse your own soul, and then you realize it's important to that person too. That's kind of that's the perfect kind of mix for that sort of deal. And then,
what point is he making at this point? Is anyone following this logic?
Was this when he said that he thinks Chad Zumach can go on without stuttering John?
How the fuck would I know? He hasn't told us anything.
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Did Chad respond to that?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, we have no idea. This is so frustrating. Like, Aaron, this is not how you do a show. By saying that, yeah, a guy said a thing because I said a thing. And, you know, I realize that when I say things, other guys are going to say things about that thing. And that makes me feel good because now I know that they're hearing the things that I'm saying about their thing.
Also, remember, he's not in the Dabbleverse. He doesn't cover this stuff.
No, not in the Dabbleverse. Not at all.
Does he think his audience is following every other show that he's watching, and so they can contextualize all of this?
No, because he's gaslighting them about what everyone else is saying all the time. So he counts on them not following any of this.
So how can he be so non-specific about everything?
I don't know. It's a weird way to.
If you want to gaslight people about something that didn't happen but actually you should. Tell them what that is.
Right, you have to replace it with something. You can't just go, nope.
And then watching the comments and realizing how much people project their own misery onto me was really interesting too.
He knows that from reading the comments?
Holy shit.
All right,
They-
I gotta get
They
off
project
this.
them
This is
back onto me.
This is so stupid. Puddin' Toot coming in with $5. Thank you very much. Aaron doesn't break anyone down. He makes stuff up about them and then attacks what he just made up. Yes.
He's got his
Correct.
hater voice. They're all
Yeah.
like, blah, 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 blah. Like
Could you
that is-
imagine? Could you imagine if so and so did that? Oh, what a loser! I can't believe so and so's doing that.
Wow, is he upset? I don't know why you're mad that I just said that you do that. Like, what are you upset? Like, it's like,
I don't-
what a weird journey you just went on in your brain.
There was, I think, a couple days ago, he was like, "Oh yeah, these underwear. Patrick probably wears these underwear. He probably wears that while he shits himself in his chair. You think he's just sitting there
does he
shitting
shit
himself all the
himself?
time?"
He's shitting himself.
Oh, disgusting. Why would you do that? Use a toilet.
Really insane.
Hunter Duke, $5 says best panel in podcasting. Agreed. Tookie, thank you again for not wrecking Mrs. Duke's Christmas. Merry Christmas to you all, and thank you all for all you do to entertain us. Thank you, Hunter Duke, for supporting the show. We do appreciate that very much. Another person that I appreciate very much is my girl KJ, coming in with $20. Aaron is running a telethon for gas station pasta. We all figured out a long time ago.
No, it's a catered. They do a catered. You don't get it.
You don't get it. Like, you can get the vodka sauce, but you could also mix that with you would.
I've got a compilation coming up that Moody pulled together of 5 clips over the years of April and Aaron talking about Nelson Brothers and how good it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. So they were going there
Yes.
long before Slam Piece, but remember he said it's Slam Piece's favorite. Wednesday nights we got to go to Pasta Bar. It's his catered. They do a catered.
He must know the owner, right?
Also, it was
Nelson?
April's. April loved it. April
Yeah.
has on more than one occasion said
Yes.
on the show that she's had a craving for Nelson Brothers.
Yes.
April eats food?
Be gone, wretches! This one's mine. I bound him to the coin, not your petty games. He grinds his soul as I commanded, sacrificing love and pride to feed my coffers. Keep away, or I'll leave your names in ruin. I alone reap his descent.
What percentage of his bullshit do you think he believes? This whole thing where he like admits he has nightmares about the gold not going down, and then when he's awake, he's panicky, sweats about it. He admits this.
Yes.
So there must be a lot more that he doesn't admit, because he doesn't think that's embarrassing. So what this thing he does, like where he's like, no, we're owning it, and part of the show's the show. I go on my normal life. It consumes you and your
Yes.
subconscious.
Do you guys remember Atlantic City last year? Someone recorded John in the Uber ride over to the comedy show.
Yes.
And Stuttering
Yes.
John's
Someone.
telling the driver, and Stuttering John's telling the driver all about the Dabbleverse and KB, and they talked about my kids, and they got
And
me fired.
fighting me, his plan, what would have went down.
Melton, and they got me fired from my. That is Aaron Imholt every day, all day. I guarantee if you go and talk to people who at his gym, they know Patrick Melton's name. They know Chad Zubak's name. They know Mersh. They know all this shit.
It's like when John gets a guest on his political show or something, and
Yep.
and it always like takes a turn into and he has to explain it, and you just look like a fucking psychopath. Like, no, it's this guy Fatty Patty and at the Borgata. He thought he wanted a piece of me. He didn't. If he would have, it's like
I don't think he runs on facts the same way that other people do. I think Aaron runs on vibes. So I don't think what he's saying is really as important as how he feels while he's saying it. And then that will color his day or week or how he feels about situations, which is why, like, if you try to chart it on, like, he said this, which contradicted this other thing that he says he believes, like, that's not his framework. So it all falls apart.
And we know that you do try to chart it. So
I do. I've
you're
tried.
speaking
he's
from
been
experience.
very handsy. Like he's been very like handsy and big movements. Like, I love you guys. Like a lot of this hands towards the camera stuff. I don't know I don't know if he took a Toastmasters course or something. I don't know what's going on, but
Be
it's
more
new.
expressive. Get the people
Yeah.
into it.
Well, since there's not a studio guest anymore, he has to fill the space somehow.
Right. He sold the
yeah.
mics too, implying he knows he's never going to have a.
He sold the mics?
He sold 2 Shure SM7Bs, and he put $50 of it towards 2 goals.
Oh, that's where
Yeah.
that money came from?
Yes.
Yes.
What did he sell them for?
He's been saying he wants a new camera, and a new camera will make the show better.
Why
Right.
not use the money for that?
Right.
When he happened into money, he was just like, we'll just knock some money off the goals so we can keep hitting
And
goals.
I don't know what you can get for a used Shure SM7B. At least 100, maybe 200 bucks.
Yeah, I would think so.
If it's in good shape, a couple hundred, I would think.
Yeah.
But
And we
You
should
get-
know this. By the way, I've upgraded my studio many times. I don't tell you guys what I do with my old microphones and cameras and shit. Why do we know this?
I bought this in 2005.
Right. They last forever.
Why would I?
Right. 2 short, long dogs with 2 pounds says, are you concerned about being sued over super tips?
Yes.
Joey C's definitely got a case. I heard that.
I wake up in the
Tookie's
night
made-
sweating about it.
Yeah, Tookie's made $20,000 just off Joey C's voice alone.
It's insane. It's our
That's a
biggest
lot.
earner.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it because we don't really have, like on the back there's no
embarrassing.
stats. But when we ran the stats, we found out Joey C's voice is actually past Aaron M. Holtz
Yep.
in earning. And yeah, I mean, that when Rocco told us that he was able to buy the Tesla with the Joey C money, I was like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But he showed us.
Yeah, that's rough because Joey C needed the car. And meanwhile,
Right.
the money that he owes Joey C. I mean, obviously, you should split it 50-50 with them.
What?
You're going to buy a very expensive automobile.
Oh, it's
pretty
already
crazy.
done.
Fucked up.
It's all done.
Also, I heard that they're going to add the Piggy monster to the class action lawsuit.
Well, what's crazy? Yeah, and what's crazy is that now that he has the car and it's paid for with Joey C's money,
Yeah.
he could be giving royalties to Joey C, which I think Joey would be cool with. But
Right.
he's using it to pay off speeding tickets he's getting in this
Right.
new Tesla.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes.
So
I
it's
know.
just
And I hear that he's using the hot tub and the heating the water is very expensive and he's using it all winter long and it's all Joey C money. He gets in the hot tub and he's just like, Joey C money feels good.
why
Very
not just
expensive.
ride Christina C around like everybody else?
No, stop it. They're beautiful people. They're very good people. Joey, I'm sorry your dick stopped working. We are going to help you with that. I promise, Joey.
How are you gonna help?
What do you mean you're gonna help him with that? What are you gonna do?
We're
Can
going
you
to start a
use your
grow.
mouth?
We're going to start a GrowFundMe on Bedabbling Live tomorrow to help Joey get a new penis. So if you want Joey to get a new penis, please super tip us tomorrow on Bedabbling Live Saturday morning.
Why not just get a smaller stomach? Isn't that the ratio that you were worried about?
His dicky do. His stomach stick out more than his dicky do.
So hold on a second. You've already made all this money off Joey C, tens of thousands of dollars, and now you're starting a new grift.
Yeah.
Pretending this is gonna help his erectile dysfunction problem.
Tomorrow's show will be titled GrowFundMe, our quest to get Joey C a new dick. Yes, if you want to help, just super chat us or super tip us tomorrow in Joey's voice.
And I want to make this very
you're
clear,
evil.
not as the entertainer Patrick Melton, but as the executive of Super Tips, Patrick Melton. We know it's illegal, and we just think you're too poor and dumb to sue.
Right. Good point. I like that. I like that stance. Lance with $5 says, unban me from YouTube channel and Discord server and Twitter and email at NLL. I truly didn't do nothing.
Nothing.
What do you think? Can you unban Lance for us?
I don't know what he's talking about.
All right, Lance. I did my best. J Dabbler, $2. Thank God you're here, Tookie. You make this watchable. I agree.
Thank you, J.
I've literally just been watching Tookie groom himself. As the show. You guys are all making points. I'm just like, what is Tookie up to?
Pulling out ticks and bed bugs from last year's Acamania.
Whitney Stitz, remember for 3 months, says, why is Aaron speaking as if he's Dr. Drew now? Oh, because
He
he's
does
in
that.
Dr. Drew's head too.
Well, he did better help. So Moody's right. He learned all these phrases and terms, and now he uses them against people.
Narcissists get worse with therapy because they just learn
weaponize it.
new things to weaponize. Yeah,
He's not a narcissist. They told him that day one, idiot.
Day one, like, good news. We got the results of the test back. You're not a narcissist.
We put a rush on this at the lab.
We did a blood test. Turnbag $2 says, Nelson Bros donuts are as big as your fucking head, yo.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
Are you guys really going to Minnesota before the Atlantic City?
I've talked to Tookie about where Nick really, like, I talked to Nick this week and he wants us to come out to Nelson Brothers and eat lunch and do a show. Nick, if you're watching, Tookie has agreed to do this. It's a 2-hour flight for me. It's probably less for Tookie. We'll come to Minnesota any day. We can make a day trip out of this. We'll fly in early morning, Nelson Brothers for lunch, Stonies to play some of the cornhole or see the stage where the N-word was uttered.
Mm-hmm.
And
why wouldn't you wait until it's not the middle of winter?
Why not? I mean, look, we got it's funnier to just do it.
All right, fair enough. Good point. I didn't think about the funny factor. Whitney's Tits, $2 Canadian says he has 15 thumbs down on his stream. Oh, with it, are you seeing that on there? That's right. I forgot that on Rumble.
Remember, that's an
they
estimate.
Still show that.
If you have a plug-in.
They still show that on Rumble.
Oh, on Rumble.
Yeah, we were watching Rumble just now. Cash, $10 says Mr. Life Experience has never been outside of the United States. Yeah, no shit.
Do you think they'll put the thumbs up button back on now that Biden's on the way out? Because you remember they did that for the White House videos. That's the reason YouTube hid the thumbs down button. Because the White House videos were getting.
I thought they hid it because of the YouTube Rewind was like so bad. The one with Will Smith.
From what I remember, that's the White House videos were getting like hard ratioed in the White House.
Oh yeah.
The rumor was the White House wanted to stop to it.
But so just going back to that Mr. Life Experience thing, I don't think he's been to more than like 3 or 4 different states in the US.
He's been to Vegas 3 times. I don't know if he's ever been anywhere else. I'm sure he's been to Chicago because that's like where people in Minnesota think the big city is.
I think he's got a passport.
No.
Remember he was complaining about Nick taking them to downtown Minneapolis. And he's just like, yeah, then we had to go all the way to Minneapolis,
right,
for this
the
dinner.
big
It's just like,
city.
yeah, why wouldn't you?
He's like, you got to drive into the city. It's probably for drugs.
Yeah, it's like, no, people go to the city for shit all the time. That's where there's just like better restaurants and stuff. What do you mean?
Even I go to the Strip to like go to the nice restaurants. Like they're not out in the suburb.
Of course not. And he did threaten to come to the first Hack-A-Mania, although that did not happen. But he almost made it to West.
He had a dance recital.
Him and Gino were like fantasizing about it. Remember, Gino looked up online live flights to Vegas 3 times, and every time he went, "Oh yeah, too much."
Gino
3 times he did it.
Gino told me in person that he'd be there. The last thing Gino said to me in person was, "See you in Vegas."
I'm not kidding. There's 3 videos of him looking up prices going $400.
I remember. Yeah. Jenna Lynn with 20 big ones for Big Money Friday. Thank you, Jenna Lynn. By the way, you're not one of the emotional women I was talking about earlier. You're one of the good ones. Soft Weekly $5 says, that's why since she left the go to the lake so much, so grandma and grandpa can take care of them. Soft. What are we doing?
That's why she left to go to the lake so much, maybe.
That's why she left.
Because she had that mug, take me to the lake.
Yes. All right.
I don't know. Soft Weekly.
I'm trying soft, buddy. Trying, man. Inflatable arm flailing toe man. I heart the new long neck Christmas Tookie. Hashtag Hell Hitler. Is that
a new Tookie?
Is that a holiday thing?
No. Oh,
Has Tookie turned from Tookie turned from a lefty to a righty?
Yes, like for this setup, yes. And I'm having horrible issues with my right shoulder for the last 3 months, so I can tell.
Just to pull back the curtain real quick, when we started the show, before we started the show, we had El Replay here, and I think we were just like, huh. Tookie, huh?
You're like, oh, so you're not gonna be Tookie, huh?
All right. He's like, fine, I'll be Tookie, and I'll look at him.
Soon you'll be able to afford one of those Elon Musk humanoid robots to do Tookie for you. Use Joey C's money to buy it.
Yes.
I'm just saying the comments don't get to anyone as much as they get through to Rocco, Tookie, and the Dapper. just keep telling him what you hate about the show. The Tookie voice isn't good anymore.
I've told him 13 times to build his set sideways. That way he can lay his arm down and do Tookie and just turn the camera. No one would know. And he's like, oh yeah, I got it. And he never. The other way. Yes. How would we know?
Gravity from the hat.
Screen,
no, like, yeah, just stay like that.
Oh man, poor Rocco. I feel like he's struggling today.
What an idiot.
Fine. I do have a hard out at the top of the hour, though.
All right. Well, we'll
I have
get
to
you out.
go protect the local kids at the bus stop from Melton.
I have a heart out too, but it's below the desk.
Charlie McDonough, $5 says the vitriol you can see in Moob when he never talks about Melton means Melton is destroying him and he knows it. Keep it up, Big Sauce.
I just like every day he's like, dude, like Melton, he was like crying. Why doesn't he ever show? He does a thing like all day long. He's typing on Discord. He makes up stories about me. It's like, I'd start my show every day reading one of those stories.
Yeah. I mean, he should be humiliating you. That's what I would have done at this point.
It's all made up. All of this is made up.
Let's see what he has to say.
I pleasure myself to the sound April made the first time Nick pushed in his Polish pole.
Oh, boy. That's not great. James Bomber coming in, $5. Moody rules. Patrick drools. See you at the car bombing, Moody. Oh, there's your boyfriend.
The turn to going from hating me to liking me is incredibly suspicious from James. But if I get to blow up a car, I don't care. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think
Aaron was right about me and Tookie having a lot in common. We both scream when an Italian man shoves his hand in our ass, and neither of us has been washed in quite some time.
Never.
Good point, Ricky Bev. All right, here's one.
if you had to be
I don't have
Chad or
anything
John,
clever to say in this voice. I just want to throw you some money using.
Hold on. What were you going to say?
if you had to be Chad or John or Joey,
Mhm.
who would you be?
Oh, that's a tough one. Chad or John or Joey?
Would I have my brain or their brain?
That's the
Their
problem, right? Because if you have their brain, you want to be John. I think
No, I think I want to be Chad.
Chad.
Mm-hmm. I think I want to be Chad.
because he's younger.
Yeah, like the body, the vessel is a little better. You know,
Better.
it's like
Okay.
getting like a 2006.
We
instead of
don't know. He might have like a
2002.
chopped up dick or something. We don't know. He could look like Zoidberg down there.
Like,
He doesn't use his dick. What are you talking
I don't think he
about?
uses it.
His dick's in mid condition.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you had your brain, you're trying to get laid, right?
Yes.
still got that right out of the wrapper smell.
Ugh. What rapper was he in?
I get it. All right, let's see what Joey has to say here.
I don't have anything clever to say in this voice. I just want to throw you some money using this voice. My dick don't work no more. I'm driving around Florida yelling about it. Did you see me piss on my YouTube stream?
Yes.
Psh, I don't have anything clever to say in this voice. I just want to throw you some.
Last time everybody stressed him out so much that he was in the hospital and had to give up 10 candy bars and Cokes a day. And now he's like, his dick doesn't work because he's so anxious about the devil first.
He's on some kind of medication where the side effects are making his dick not work. So he had a doctor's appointment today and they streamed the whole thing. The doctor gave him Viagra and Cialis. And Joey has to keep
He's
pissing.
gonna die.
He's got
If
20
my-
cc's of Cialis.
If I lost my dick in a car crash, I wouldn't tell you people. And he's got to go, guys, my dick's not working. Like, I could not have a dick and you would never know. Why would you ever tell people that?
Can we just realize what just happened here? Rocco is obsessed with Joey C. He watches everything. I don't know any of this.
I love him. We were in the whole doctor's visit. You heard the doctor. You heard all Joey's medical history. And
That can't be legal.
Just holding the phone with her pug face. Like
It is fascinating to get an insight into the daily moments of someone's life you'd never know about. So
It really makes you want to vote against national health care. It's like, I'll just go to this idiot.
But then Joey leaves the office and he goes, I got to go piss. So you assume he's going to give the phone to Mrs. Catalano.
Oh, he did. He brought it with him.
And he put it down on the floor next to the toilet. Like
Because that's not a crime to be live streaming in a public restroom.
Oh, it was fantastic. If you want to cover it tonight, Melton, go.
He could get kicked off YouTube for that. Seriously, like it
Well, you only saw the underside of the toilet.
doesn't matter.
Well,
You
hold
can't
on a
be-
second. I don't care about the legality. Who puts their phone down on the floor in a
know,
bathroom?
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
It was disgusting.
oh,
That's wild.
Anyway, if Melton doesn't cover it tonight, that's what we're covering tomorrow morning.
All right. By the way, last week I was watching from my Airbnb this little piggy,
brag.
and you had the Aussie guy on.
Yeah.
that was awesome. And he's coming in with this.
I've learned from the Chad stuff that I shouldn't pile on addicts. Anyway, I had a great chat with the police about Nick Rekieta today.
Great point. Great point, guy. All right,
he's so bitter about everything. He keeps talking about how many times has he washed his hands of the situation? How many times has he learned to not lock horns with an addict? He's told us.
But then when something happens to Nick, we got a court update today. It's
right.
like okay.
April, how easily the word whore comes out of his mouth when he's talking about April as well. It's just I don't know. It feels strange to go like it's just been 6 months between I love her and I want to work on this to she's
and we're
a
not
blonde
getting
whore.
divorced. She's making candied bacon. You wish.
Someone paid him $5 to play the clip of him getting engaged on the show today.
Really?
So that was interesting to see the contrast.
Karl thinks he's still a bit like she's gonna pop out of a Christmas present.
By the way, we all know they had a perfect week despite missing the goal by
he missed the goal
at
by
least
a lot.
$80 on Monday.
Yeah, I played it on my show.
Plus
I
the
thought,
other 50.
Yeah.
He thinks he can go. He goes back retroactively. So if he surpasses a goal on a later day, he fills in the missed goal, and so
And
it
then
becomes
starts talking about a perfect week.
Right, and they had a perfect week, and Rumble usually takes care of itself. But today, and again, Karl said he was very ambitious. He said, "Guys, if we hit the goal, we're going till noon.
Yeah,
we're going
6-hour show today." Yes.
He probably does this with other aspects of his life. Like if he shoots 10 over par one day and the next day he shoots 5 under par, he's probably like, "Well, I had 2 5 over par rounds."
Yes, but as we all know, Rumble Fridays usually takes care of itself. So he should have gone till noon. Nope, we ended at 9, missing the goal by $215.
Or if he does like 6 strokes on a par 4, he probably says we count 4 of that.
Yes,
and calls it a par. I don't know. Movie math probably continues to every aspect of his life. He's probably at the grocery counter ringing stuff up like
I love that idea though. She's shooting 18 holes. He goes, "Well, I shot a 90 gross, but that's actually a 78 net.
Right.
So not too bad."
That's 10 ounces, but we take off an ounce for the bag.
Right.
The Bev cart girl gets a couple of those strokes.
Tickle Me Tookie coming in here.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more."
It's from that poem, The Corvid.
Right. I want to get into Nick Rekieta on the Dick Show recently, but also I just have to point out, because I'll forget if I don't, Nick Mullen is fascinated with Nick Rekieta and this whole court case and everything that went down with the Imholtz. And I love that because Nick Mullen's not interested in very many things. He stays out of all of this shit.
How deep into it is he? Does he know all the characters?
Well, he knew enough. He went on Dan Soder's show. He goes, "Dan, you know about this internet lawyer guy who was caught with an ounce of cocaine in his house and the kids, and he was going in. And there's this other couple that was also live streaming with them on YouTube. He's like, these YouTube people are wild."
And I bet Aaron will try to own this and be like, "Oh, we got to get Nick on the show."
Yeah,
like
right.
Aaron thinks everybody. He wants to get. Who did he say he wants to get on the show? Oh, the guy from Bert from Fish Tank.
Oh, right. Of course.
It's like he doesn't know who you are. What? No, because Alex, he wants to be accepted and picked up by mainstream so badly.
Mm-hmm.
He was picked up by mainstream.
Well,
Fox 9 News.
He hated that. He really did hate that.
And
it's the #1 Google result now.
Admit you ate Nick Rekieta's cum. You'll be the biggest story on the internet for a day. Just admit it.
Well, to that point, I have a clip on here where Dick Masterson is clowning Aaron in a very funny manner. I believe that Dick picked up on this from the first Hackamania when we were talking about Aaron.
I gotta wait until my case is over, and then I can talk about my side of the story.
Yeah.
And like the prosecution knows this.
Can you please just
everybody
never say I
thinks-
talk about the news and I talk about my life and the news happens to be my life? Just promise me you'll never say this phrase when you come back.
Oh,
Phenomenal. Nick didn't pick up on that, but when Aaron said, "I talk about my news, and I talk about the news, I talk
This
about
is
my
the
life,"
news.
and my life happens to be the news, and he really thought that his YouTube algorithm was what everyone else saw whenever they logged into YouTube. It was just like, everyone's talking about me and Nick Rekieta. This is wild.
It's the same way he thinks he's on the front page of Rumble all the time.
Yes.
It's like it might be your account.
Yeah. It's because you're logged
Like I've
in.
never seen you on the front page of Rumble.
it was kind of genius though that Aaron did do all that, because he wouldn't have really been in this story otherwise. It would have been like April, the host of some show. She used to be a co-host of some YouTube show. Aaron put himself in this situation, which also gave us all the inside info for everyone else.
Right, but that condition is the very thing that makes you doubt the validity of everything he's ever said. It's like why we're all waiting so much to hear April or Nick come out and tell their side. Not that we think Nick's going to be 100% truthful, and again, even like we've always said, if this cum thing is a lie, it's just brilliant because Aaron will obsessively deny this till the day he dies every show now. It's wild.
Yes.
He was Aaron was talking about how Nick shouldn't be going around spilling private details about his own life and that sort of thing.
God, could you believe he said that?
What are you talking about?
To this day, everything we know is from Aaron.
We wouldn't know that they were swinging.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
We all would have been saying, what the hell was going on with April?
None of us would know what Paul verbs is.
It would have looked way better for Aaron because it would have looked like April ran away from him and then got caught up in drugs independently, and he's washing his hands of the situation.
It's what he which is what he wanted.
Yeah, but he also wanted to stick the knife into Nick, and talk about everything.
He's petty, vindictive, and short-sighted, which is why it's so funny when he thinks we all think he has a master plan. It's like, no, we don't. You don't game anything out. You don't think about how anything's gonna look to the public, how it's gonna get trashed and drugged. Like you don't think about any of that.
It was in everyone's best interest for all four members to just shut up and just say, this is being handled by the cops. Everything happens behind the scenes. And then they walk out of it looking a lot better than they do today.
And
but
he wouldn't be pending felony charges right now.
He pushed that nuke button. And so Nick's just going to push his one as well. And we're going to see everything, which is terrible.
I think what caused that is that night after he was on Kevin's show that day when the arrest and everything came out with Chad and on MLC that day. And then that night he decided to go live and he made like $2,500 that night in super chats. It's more than he's ever made in his life. And he thought,
the goal
this
was
is
gone.
the turn.
Yep.
This is the turn.
That was
I've made it. I'm going to blow up. I've suckled all of Nick's YouTube streaming energy and now it's on me and I'm the center. He thought that would go on forever and he's literally back down now. He will, I predict in the next month. Well, see, the problem is like stuff keeps bubbling up and keeping him alive like popcorn. But eventually, I mean, he's down in between 2,000 and 3,000 views on his show again. So it's like he was just getting under 2,000 on his daily show when all this popped.
We've talked about this before. He never should have said anything he said on Kino Casino. That was all shit that, like, I would never trust that guy as a friend ever again. I would never allow him into my life. It's wild that he would say that stuff. But if you are going to say that stuff, trickle that shit out on your own show one at a time. He could have told those stories for a month and a half, 2 months, and just like one here and there, and people would be glued to it. He just fucking had to unload everything to try to impress PPP and Worski.
And then Stretch had to keep making things up like, what else can I tell you? And then just these little dumb stories that don't.
Yeah.
Well, Chad's going through the same thing now where he's getting like all these, he got $500 the other day. He gets $100. He thinks this is going to last forever.
Right.
Because, you know, people feel bad that his Patreon is gone and all that. But B Smiley just made a good point I saw in the chat. Aaron also claimed that he was going to give some of that money from one of those big shows or from that first week to the kids.
Nick's kids.
And he wanted to do it anonymously. He was like, oh, well, maybe I could talk to the cops. We could get some supermarket gift cards or something. People need to ask what happened about that.
He was like, I don't want to do it because it'll look like I'm doing it for the recognition and the virtue signaling, which is funny because now he started this week. We'd be remiss to not mention he started this new thing where he's decided to pay clippers when he plays a clip. We owe it. And he's trying to get people to sign on this petition with him. Like, guys, right? We're all gonna every clip we play, $10. And we're all going, no. But again, the guy with no budgeting skills, who was so bad with fucking money, doesn't. And don't get me wrong, I'll super chat or leave a super thanks on My Lost Interest or Real Media Player. A lot of these guys that I'll do a lot of shows. Is it enough to compensate them and make them a living? No, that's not my job.
Karl just just wanting to show the stats of where the Rekieta bump happened for Aaron. So
look at that.
This is from January 2023 to now. So January of 2024 is right here in the middle. You can see that 2023 was a good year for him, and then it just dipped, and the show was kind of dying. Once April left, nothing good really happened, and then this is May 21st, I think, was what happened. May 25th.
Hold on, I want you to back up real quick though, because this illustrates my point perfectly. So Aaron's doing the show where he's lying. There's not that much interest in it. It's like everything's great. We're doing great. Yeah, we did the hot tub stream and we're friends with the Rekietas. And then all of a sudden,
hot tub stream was here.
And then April 1st, April is off the show. And the trolls drove her off, but she's great. She's going to figure it out. She'll be back on the show someday. And this is where I started really paying attention. And I'm going, oh, this is interesting because this was the prediction. April's not going to last on this show. There's too much heat. And so everyone dropped off right there. They're just like, oh, this show sucks.
Yeah. They signed up to see where is April going. This was the first week of,
and then then he started talking shit about April slowly. Remember, that's when he started bringing Kiki and Gino on, and he started after the candied bake, after the honeymoon period of 2 weeks, she might be coming back. He started even before, like kind of trashing her, and that's when he started getting some traction again.
And then the Rekieta bump happened, but now he's gone into what's this 18 to 20,000 views. That's back to what he was in like October of last year. It's gone to what it was before. I'm doing 2 to 4 shows a week and do more views than that. So he's doing way more shows and the views are down.
So to your point that you were making before, Moody, there's going to be a point where everyone else can start talking about this stuff. Because Aaron was able to be the one guy who goes out and tells the story, and no one else has told their side of it because of the legal ramifications. And so this from Dick's show, I thought was very interesting. This was the best part.
So they get these crazy reports from insane people like Aaron, who flat out fucking lied to them in the interview, which again, they hand me all these recordings. I know everything that was said, but they get someone who lies.
Are you going to go through those? You have all the recordings. Can you go through them?
Yes, I can.
Nick has the report that Aaron gave to the police, and he is going to be able to play that once they get this all figured out.
He told me that forever ago. They got discoverability when Aaron went in and sat in the police station. He has the tape.
That's amazing.
So, I'd assume that's public record. Like when this is all over, he'll be able to like play that out or put it up as a clip. Or
it's a great win for the toe. Everyone can see how I deal with the police and how polite I am, professional.
That's gonna be great. Because he always says like the police are fans and they pal around and stuff and ask for autographs. Well, it'd be funny to see him sitting there talking to cops, interrogated.
Hey, calm down, guys. I know you know me from the radio, but it's okay. I'm just here.
I feel like one of the things that's happened this year that was unfair was the amount of people talking about Gino snitching on Aaron. When I don't think you could say he snitched on Aaron.
No, the police called him. They called him. Yeah.
Don't lie to the cop.
Aaron snitched on himself by doing it live on his show.
Right.
He's a retard.
But so with the amount of like stuff with Aaron and people around Aaron criticizing Gino for snitching, I hope that the same criticism starts to go against Aaron with the amount of snitching he did against the Rekieters.
Well, and you remember when he was gleefully cheering about Gino going to jail for breaking into the old compound studio. I mean, he literally sang on his show and made up parody songs about Gino getting what he deserves and karma and being a bitch and going to prison, and 3 years he's going to prison, everybody. It's like, what in the hell?
He keeps talking about how great his life is and how terrible the life of like Melton is and all of that. It's like only one of them is facing felony charges and has a state 90-day sentence hanging over their heads. Like,
well, only one of us lives alone.
Right.
Yeah. And only one of you is known as a spousal abuser. And this is another thing that came up, Nick talking to Dick Masterson.
You know why he has to headbutt women, right?
Why?
Have you ever seen his weak ass arms?
Yeah, I have.
So this is just the beginning. I mean, we can only imagine what's going to be happening with Nick on his show and what he'll be doing, because they're talking about this revenge arc. And Dick's very interested in seeing, like, what's going to happen once your legal issues are behind you and now you can come back on the show. And before that, they bring up the Kino Casino guys.
I mean, you're up against guys who just don't do anything. Like a lot of the people who hate you do absolutely nothing. Or I guess not. I mean, you see that it came out that the Kino Casino went to Vegas and had like an orgy together with one of their donors where they're fucking black hookers. PPP's jacking off in the corner. And the guy who paid them to do it was like posting a weird shit about his kid on some Shotacom forum. It's like, bro, this is really degenerate what you guys are doing here.
That's coming from Dick Masterson.
It feels like all these guys who accuse everybody of being pedophiles are like into kids. It's very weird.
Yeah, it is weird how often they talk about it, and they're so upset about it. And that was the whole thing about Nick Rekieta. It's like, it's all about the kids. Everyone's so upset about the kids. And this was interesting.
The prosecution wrote a really interesting letter to the court. And that letter said, there are no victims in this crime. And we expect no children to be required to testify, which is the prosecution saying, not only are there no victims, but that the children are also not victims, because they charged me with child endangerment, but they found in the family law case there wasn't any endangerment.
It's just
the
about the goddamn
were
cocaine.
never in danger of.
And maybe that's already been said before, but that's a very important point, because that's a thing that all the Kiwi guys and everyone really latched onto, is the child endangerment thing, which is awful. It's a horrendous thing. But the fact that the prosecution wrote a letter saying that there are no victims, there is no child endangerment, tells me that, so he's really just getting charged with the guns and the drugs.
Well, the thing that everyone keeps coming out and say they know what's going on, and one of Aaron's things is like, Nick thinks he's negotiating with them. No, son, they're going to tell you how it is. We don't know. And I got to be careful, because I don't know what, it all runs together, what I know publicly and what Nick's told me privately. But that's one of the things he told me forever ago, is that there's this letter that basically says that children aren't victims. So therefore there can be no crime against children that he can be punished for. But one of the things he said on when he was on This Little Piggy is something he's told me privately as well. He's never seen this drug safe. They don't have it. It didn't get logged into the evidence book or what. I don't know. But again, am I saying there was no safe of drugs? No. I'm saying people don't understand how court works and the law works.
Right.
And if they fucked up, did you see the OJ trial? If they fuck up and it happens to be in an important way, like, fuck, we didn't log this safe, or we didn't take the proper photos of it, or we didn't record this. He can go, what's safe? I don't. You ain't gonna safe from my house. There's no list of a safe on this evidence.
When he was talking to Dick Masterson about this plea, there is a negotiation going, because he goes, I could fight this because of, he can't explain the reasons, but that could be one of them. Also, the fact that Aaron was one of the concerned citizens that got the warrant created in the first place, and this is a vindictive asshole. That's very obvious. Like, there's things that they could do.
Yeah.
to try to push back on this.
It just shows somebody with no experience with the court. Again, I got out of a traffic ticket because the cop wrote the wrong intersection down. Did I run a stop sign? I absolutely did, but there's no stop sign where she wrote down. So I get off. Because police are charged with giving an accurate and accountable record of every crime and situation. So if they fucked up and didn't write down the vehicle or the vessel with which the drugs were contained in on an evidence list on the scene on the day of collecting it, yeah, something can be done and said and negotiated, because they're going to know they fucked up. This happens all the time. It happens a lot. I'm not saying that's what is going on, but we don't know.
Look, like, it's reasonably, was there cocaine there? Probably. Like,
I'm sure.
As far as like endangering kids, though, whether or not it ended up being like he can get charged for it or not, it surely is a traumatic experience for a bunch of kids to get dragged away from their parents because of this whole situation.
And
so it's
anything,
but if you do care about the kids at all and you think that there is some redemption that can be had here, the best thing you could think is, okay, maybe he sees this as a wake-up call, stops using, and they get back to being a family again. Whether or not that, like, it's still traumatic.
They were a family before.
Right.
Connor says, what if the safe is actually a charcuterie fridge?
Yeah, I'm waiting for this. I want it so bad.
Why has he not sent it to you yet?
I don't know. Also, I think if you're gonna do drugs around your kids, cocaine is better than heroin or meth, because at least what cocaine will turn you into a helicopter parent, probably.
Right.
You're gonna be like buzzing around doing things for your children.
You're going to my practice again? Yeah, we gotta go to your practice. Let's go. I want to watch your practice.
If you're gonna
play soccer right now.
If you're gonna go to Nelson Brothers with Nick, will you pick up the fridge then?
Oh yeah, you should probably bring it.
Oh, that would be I would pay to fly that back.
Yeah, you'd be burdened with that. All right, so this is getting back to the revenge arc. I was setting that up with the previous clips because what I like about Dick Masterson, nobody follows the internet and all this stupid lore that's going on all over the internet better than Dick.
I mean, I do want to see the revenge. I do want to see the revenge arc, because all these fuckers, all of these fuckers are they're all guilty, and they all turned on you instantaneously, and they're all still because of their instant villain heel turn. They're all still kind of slow rolling this, like, well, you know, there's kids involved. There's kids, like, the kids involved is doing a lot of work.
They all should,
even though they all got
prison,
fucking handles of vodka in the house. They're all taking they're all taking part of exactly the same degenerate shit that they're all soapboxing about. I do want to see the revenge.
Did you see
yeah.
Did you see the PPP thing where he's like explaining away doing, I mean, way worse shit than I did, which is funny. Go ahead. I don't care. Like, have your hooker orgy in Vegas. I don't want to be there. He's the fucking
with other
planet.
men.
He's a planet in the shape of yogurt, man. I don't want to see that. But
they were driving him around in a pickup. They were saying
like a
pickup truck.
Yeah,
like a
bed. In the back?
The PPP mobile. There's like a mosquito netting in the back of a Toyota. Tacoma.
Look, I'm sure 5'4", 112-pound Andy Worski could help lift PPP into something. But like, can you imagine sitting in the corner watching Andy Worski with a black hooker and jerking off? That's the most pathetic thing I've ever.
Worski was using one of their other fans to have. He was moving the other fan on the hooker, like he was pushing his hips into the hooker.
What the fuck?
So. It is funny that all this shit came out about Kino Casino, and they're all like, "Wow, this is wild! What's going on with Nick? I can't believe it."
And then they deflected it all by being like, "Yeah, the fan that bought us all that and did all that with us was fucked up."
Yeah,
we've banned him now. He's a pedophile, and we've known for a long time.
Yeah.
You've known that one of your fans has been a pedophile for a long time. What are you doing?
PvP said Andy Worski was a pedophile and deserved to be in prison. They all have one trick.
Yeah. Say thongs, Moody.
I'm from New Zealand. Australians say thongs. We say jandals.
What? Mr. P says, "Give me Tookie, I'll fix him."
Jandals all-inclusive resort.
Painkiller, remember for 2 months, says, "Just saw on Kiwi Farms, Patty is a gay PDF who's hunched and is a eunuch."
How?
Eunuch.
Okay. So if he's a eunuch and he's gay and a pedophile. I mean, being gay and being a pedophile, both things are sexually charged in nature. If he's a eunuch, could he really not act on the gay and the pedophile side?
That's why he's so angry.
Also, somewhere there's a black girl named Unique, spelled that way, 100%. 100%. That exists, and I know it.
Yes.
Skinny Tooth John, $5. Joey did not wash his hands. Confirmed. Is that true, Tookie?
Yes, confirmed. Thank you,
Jesus,
Skinny. I forgot.
Joey.
Can you believe he borrowed $30 from me at DabbleCon 2 and never paid me back?
Yeah, I can believe that.
It's like he has no idea the value of money.
But he got us good seats at the baseball game, so
That
there's
was
that.
fantastic.
Bobo, $5. On the floor, gross. Everyone knows you put your phone in your underwear when you're taking a dump. Yes, everyone knows
Dude,
that.
put it in the urinal. They're waterproof.
With
Put it on the top of the toilet. The toilet has a top to it normally.
With Joey C, I'd probably take my bet with the floor.
Or put it on the sink counter. It didn't have to go on the floor, literally right next to the toilet.
T.O. Hank, $10, says, TM Zumak, Stuttering John went to dinner with Kate Meany, did booger sugar with her at a strip club, and spent the night at her place.
Spy
Mud
report.
Shark
Spy
wins
report.
again, you hacks. Hashtag MLC Live. This T.O. Hank's still watching MLC, huh?
T.O. Hank,
Coming up.
die hard, but he might be a little slow. He might be a little retarded. I think the people who still there's still people who genuinely give money to Aaron. Like, all right, Aaron, let's make a deal. You do an hour and we'll give you he really does have, those are real people who love him.
We love you, T.O. Hank.
I put the picture up to share if you want, Karl, but this did just drop in the last hour. That is Stuttering
Holy
John.
shit, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Can you zoom in on that a little bit?
Yeah.
What are we
He's got that
looking at?
ultra wide monitor as well, Joey. Do you
Scroll up.
see?
Yeah.
Do you see what he pays for?
So
Yeah, he's
there's
got a nice monitor.
Chad Zumach. John and Kate Meany went out to dinner in a strip club last night after she taped all his phone calls and clowned him. There he is. There she is.
He got together with Kate Meany on his first night in New York. Wow.
But this is what puts people in a different box than everybody I'm on screen with right now to me.
Correct. Yes.
Again, there's no real friendships. There's no real. Do you think as they were meeting up for dinner and having this good time, they trusted each other and they respected? No. So
by the way,
Chad, MLC, it's Stevie Lou, Ray, Kevin, all these people have memories of goldfish, and they're so narcissistic and needy. They just keep surrounding themselves with the same people over and over who keep fucking them over, and they love it, but also they need it.
Whatever conversation that Kate and John had, you're going to be hearing on the Uncle Rico show in a month. I'm sure she recorded all of it.
I don't think you guys understand the power of having a bag of Coke.
Oh,
yeah, right.
There's also rumors that he spent the night at Kate's house. That is the latest on the spy report.
Can you imagine if she fucked him? Can you imagine?
Oh, I hope so.
Holy
awesome.
shit.
He'll never shut up about it.
Well, I also want to hear her side of it. I hope she comes back and tells her side of how that went down.
I want to hear him describe sex. And just so you know, she was shaved. Like, what are we? What?
Things were making squishy noises for at least 3 minutes.
It was pretty wet down there for a minute. I thought I had to get a towel.
Oh.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Gushers.
Another thing that happened on Aaron's show this week, and you covered it pretty well, Patrick, is Aaron spoke to a recovering alcoholic who told him there's no way that Nick's going to be able to go. And Nick even admitted he's going to have to stop drinking for 2 or 3 years in order to keep the kids and whatever this plea deal is going to be, right? And so he goes, oh, there's no way he's going to be able to do that. And he was saying some really dumb stuff. Like he goes, people think that not having your kids taken away would be a deterrent. I think you're going to steer into it. Like knowing that your kids will be taken away is going to make you want to drink even more. Like, what? What do you mean? That's the dumbest thing ever. So Nick addressed this on Dick's show.
Not having drugs or alcohol around is easy. Most people do it all the time. Like most people don't have drugs in their house, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, and so people are like, oh, can you do that? It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, you're doing it now. I think I can manage.
Yeah.
And so he had to go through 60 days of sobriety to get the kids back. And he talks about that and testing all the time. And so if the guy went 60 days, couldn't you maybe assume that because Aaron likes to say he's like such an addict that he's just like constantly has to be drinking and doing drugs every day. He's like, well, he went 60 days. So I would imagine if he's taking it one day at a time, he can keep going.
And Aaron's a guy I've never seen go a week without drinking.
Well, he was talking about that. He put on 10 pounds and then he lost all this weight in the last 2 days.
Yeah, he put on 10 pounds, but they only keep 5 of that.
Right, yes. That works out well.
It's a weight loss goal.
But all of this comes from his anonymous source that he has about Nick. Like he's talked to someone about Nick in a way that he didn't really confirm anything, right?
Nick says this is bullshit. He went on this thing about like somebody told me this, like he wants to start a YouTube channel to teach kids about not doing drugs. Nick, from just what Nick told me, is just like, what?
Well, so even Aaron doesn't make any sense with this. So he claims that part of the deal that Nick was trying to make was I'll go into the school and I'll be a counselor and a school visitor, teach kids the dangers of drugs. And he said, but only if I can drink alcohol still, then I'll do all of this, which of course doesn't make any sense. This is what some guy told Aaron. So Aaron's
at the school.
But Aaron also said, and this is why Aaron's retarded, he goes, as if they'd want a guy who does drugs around children. Like, that's the last person they would have. It's like, no, they have recovering addicts do these types of things all the time. That's
what the teachers are hungover.
What if this was just Aaron testing the waters to see if anyone would be interested in him?
Right.
Being an anti-drug counselor because of his experience.
He could freestyle. What up, kids? My name is Aaron M. Holt.
Yeah, he's not getting into that voiceover work he was hoping for. So now he wants to be.
Yo, kids, don't let drugs define your role. Set up yourself and get a goal.
Yeah, being clean is the way to do life, or you'll wake up with Nick inside of your wife.
He walks in, does the chair backwards, sits down on it. He's like, a lot of people think it's cool to be with 2 women, and I've been with 2 women.
Many times. I don't. Let me tell you about one of those times.
Some people think that's cool. I don't think that's cool. You know what I think is cooler? What I'm doing right now, which is Aaron, 1 woman.
He's doing the Michael Scott. He's gonna have a boombox.
But what if this is something that he's thinking of bringing to his lawyers to see if they can bring it to the courts and say, hey, listen, this guy's a good guy. He does a show. He's very professional. He only did coke like.
Uh-oh. We lost Tookie, I think.
We lost Tookie. We get what he's saying now.
Aaron talking about drugs to kids would be like, the worst thing about drug addiction was the Dementors.
No.
Like,
You got it wrong. He's not going to talk to the kids about drugs. He's going to talk to them about texting nudes. You guys think it's cool to take nudes and text nudes?
That's what he should be doing.
Let me show you a nude I thought was cool. He chose the whole school. Put it up on the slide. If we can get it up on the.
That's great. So we're wrapping up, but I want to play this clip because Dick Masterson breaks down how he feels about Aaron, and I couldn't agree more. And he sums it up in a way I don't know that any of us have really put it this way.
He's so weird because he's like, he pulls this internet tough guy thing and challenges everyone to a fight. It's like, dude, you don't have your fighting record is 0-2, and they're like, everybody watched you get your ass just handed you. Why do you have this internet tough guy thing? No one's challenging you to a fight. No one's saying anything about it. But like, you're an embarrassing specimen if we're talking about fighting.
He's like, Imholt is like the Waluigi of podcasting. Like, there's
but people want Waluigi still as a thing.
I don't think they do. Well, but either way, if they do, he's like the original broadcasters were like straight up the road, and then you had like guys like Howard Stern, like the shock jock guys, and he's like this weird reflection of that, which is not. It has no identity beyond I'm doing like a performance of what I think radio is. It's so bizarre.
Right.
I get the most uncomfortable feeling every time I watch Imholt's streams.
And I feel the same way. Like, I watch AI and it's more comfortable, like an AI person, than the way that
Aaron.
Because AI Aaron's great. Because the way that Aaron, and we were talking about that before with his hand movements and just everything's a performance all the time.
It's uncanny. Yeah, what is the show?
And
What
he's
is his
watching
stance on
himself
things?
to see how he. Am I?
Yes.
Is this cool? Like, sorry, Moody. I didn't mean to.
No,
That's fine.
it's uncomfortable. It actually is. I can't believe he does a 4-hour, 5-hour, 6-hour show. It's hard to watch. It takes something out of you.
Well, he's got to
Watch it.
get off so he can start his next show. There's Aaron in the morning, Aaron in the afternoon, Aaron at supper time, Aaron on the weekends, wrap up Vikings game show.
Max Brengel. Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas to you, Max Brengel.
Melton, do the butter voice. Aaron must eat the butter for the gold. Do the voice.
Oh, you mean the buttering? You want Aaron to do the buttering? We need the buttering, Aaron. We need it.
I was riding in my car with my wife, and we heard that part. She goes, "Is that the Beggy Boss?" I go, "No, it's not. It's not the Beggy Boss."
Keep up.
It's the butter monster.
Eat your heart out, Fatty Patty, Lady K, and whoever these other two nerds are. Let's just say I had a wonderful time last night. Thank you, third input, Kate.
Whoa!
If Kate recorded them having sex, I'll that's
out.
gonna be that. I mean, if she recorded any private conversations at her house or in bed or him trying to fuck her, I'm in.
Oh God, I can't even imagine. Sounds awful. So Tookie, I know that you're be dabbling live tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Yes, TookieSoup.com. You can get everything you need to know about Tookie. I do have to run. Thank you, Karl. Thank you.
What are you going to be
Moody.
covering tomorrow on Be Dabbling Live? Obviously, Joey C for 3 hours. What else?
Yes, Joey C. How his dick doesn't work. We'll be taking your calls because this Christmas Eve, we're having a very special show on Bedabbler Network, a very big Black Christmas. And you'll be able to call in to Big Black and tell him what you want for Christmas. And you can tell him he sucks. And
How do you get Big Black and Joey C to do a show together? That would be amazing.
I mean, I could probably make it happen.
Yeah,
But
you should.
I don't
That'd
know.
be
I
great.
told Big Black we would do this for him on Christmas Eve. So everyone check it out. As far as what else we're talking about tomorrow, I don't fucking know. I guess
And
the
we're gonna
Don
do a
and
New
Kate
Year's.
stuff.
Are we doing a New Year's show?
Sure, if you want. I think I'm going out to dinner. I don't know if I'm going to Denver or going to be here, but I'll let you know. We'll talk.
Jesus, you got to go into the city to eat.
Yeah, the big city.
Yes,
We get drugs.
the best places, Joey.
All right. Thank you, Tookie. And Patrick, what's going on Nobody Likes Onions? You got a show tonight?
Well, I like Tookie also have the runs, and
I think he said he had a run.
oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I'll do it. I'm having a show later. I'm very ill. I've made it here 2 hours almost, so I'm pretty proud of that. Nobody likes things.com. Hackamania tickets are on sale. If Nick Rekieta gets confirmed to come out, ticket prices go up. Get your tickets now. Hackamania.com. Promo code WATP because
That's
we're
right.
on your channel.
That's right. 10% off. I want to leave you guys with this important information that Nick shared on the Dick Show.
If you hair follicle test every child in America, 1 in 5 of them will test positive for a controlled substance.
Yeah.
And he knows
Fact.
that. He knows that because
Yes.
1 in 5 of his children, there's a sample size of 5. He said that seriously. I couldn't believe
He's
that.
the only one who's got a private study done.
Yes.
So,
What are his
like,
children? $1 bills?
have we? And we haven't announced. Sorry, we didn't announce who's at Hackamania. You're at Hackamania, Karl.
Yes.
You and Vinny are also doing
The
creep
creep off. Yep.
Everybody
We have,
except for Ray DeVito and Pat Dixon.
right. We have the biggest problem in the universe coming back again.
Yeah, Dick and Vito will
Awesome.
be there. That'll piss people off. But they're in from
great.
the beginning this year. So they'll be there. Dr. Steve's last show, Weird Medicine Show.
Yes.
I didn't know this was going to be his last show, but if you know Dr. Steve, he's going to put so much into this. It's going to be amazing. He'll be there. Nobody Likes Onions. Hopefully we'll do a live This Little Piggy there.
Yes.
And yeah, so it's going to be a good time. There may be more added. We're waiting to
Tookie
hear.
Soup is going to be there.
Tookie Soup with OJ and
Cardiff and
Cardiff.
OJ?
Sorry, Ralph.
Yep.
Everyone.
I think it's going to be
Uh,
Cardiff at this
Yeah, I
point.
think it's going to be great this year. We're doing we have an activity planned for Sunday to go out and like shoot guns, crush cars, archery, all kinds of shit.
Flamethrowers.
And
Flamethrowers.
everything's happening in the same hotel, so you'll be able to meet up with people really easily.
Yeah.
Make
Unlike
spontaneous
last year,
plans.
venue, hotel, restaurants, everything's in one building. You won't have to leave the building if you don't want to.
Wait, is Moody going?
I'll be there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Looking forward to it.
Why are you being so mean, Karl? Karl, why are you being so mean? I
be a lot of
saved
fun,
Hackmania
Moody.
last year.
I saved Hackamania.
I saved it.
There'd be no Hackamania if it wasn't for Moody.
You made it happen. Actually, Moody, can you hang out afterwards? Because I want to ask you a tech question, if you don't mind. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, I need an apology now, though.
Oh, I apologize, Moody. I love you, buddy. I'm
All right,
excited
great.
that
I'll
you're going to
stick
come
around.
back to the States to hang out with us. I think that's great. Oh, shit. Is there more on here that I didn't see yet? Karl, how many BBC you think JJ had before you? I say 9. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a BBC, Karl?
Yeah, before me. She's had 6 since. Jay Dabbler, $2. Here's $2 for the Kiwi to start being funny. Wow,
If you wanted to pay me, go through Super Tip. This all goes to Karl, so I don't see any of that money. And also too late. It's the end of the show.
Hey,
What do you
my
want?
boy Mike Boudet coming in. Sword and Scale.
Just a warning, kids. Don't ever upload my picture and Stuttering John's picture to AI. Nudify websites. Don't do it. Trust me.
Oh, God. That would be horrific. I would not like that. All right. We got everything we needed to off our chest today?
I think so. I think it's too late to mention that there's still some Stoney's gift cards. If you have $20, I think they all went this year. Yes. I don't know what he's doing. I fucking.
Well, this has been This Little Piggy. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Moody, Tookie, and Patrick Melton, I'm Karl Hamburger from Who Are These Podcasts saying Gagia.
There's a show in town, it's going down. Every week we're back on solid ground. Steel toe slipping, but we're gripping. Got the tea to spill, it's always flipping. From April's scrim to Aaron's glee. Oh, this drama's just a spree. Polydrama, legal trauma. Another win, oh, that's the karma. This little piggy went to YouTube. This little piggy's on Rumble.